77 for the high. Looks like 77 again tomorrow. Maybe a few clouds roll in after lunch tomorrow. That wind kicks up around 15 to 20. It is 45 right now. Lancaster City Manager Finley DeGraff and Reed, along with Ronnie Witcher in the studio. They're coming up next.
Whoa. Hey now, what are you looking for?
I'm a little short on change. I'm craving some tacos, and payday is still 2 days away.
Well, you have all of this stuff sitting around here that you're not using right now, so why not take it up to Hoffy's Pawn and Gun and burn it and have some money to tide you over? And I also see you have stuff that you haven't used in a long time that you could just go sell, like this guitar that you were going to learn to play years ago.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. I think I'll do just that. Tacos, here I come.
Hold up, I'll go with you. They take all kinds of stuff, like guns, jewelry, musical instruments, laptops, tools, and a lot more. They also offer a large selection of quality new and used guns and pistols, as well as ammo. Hey, do you feel like venison?
No, I don't think so.
Hoffy's Pawn and Gun. Check them out online at hoffyspawnandgun.com or head to 201 South Water Street in Burnett for all of your pawn shop and gun needs.
And when you just want some extra money for tacos.
Tacos. Lancaster City Manager Finley DeGraff and Reed in our studio. That means it's Wednesday, and we're going to find out what's going on with the city of Lampasas. I noticed Finley DeGraff and Reed's been sitting over there taking notes and whatnot, and scribbling things down that he needs to talk about.
I need all the help I can get.
Well, we had a surprisingly good turnout for the Carol of Lights lighted Christmas parade.
Yes.
Last Saturday, didn't we?
Yes, and I appreciate everybody coming out. It looks like, those families were kind of staying together and not necessarily mingling a whole lot. And saw a lot of people wearing masks, and we certainly appreciate that. We think that's very appropriate with the times we're currently in. It was not a real lengthy parade, but I think it was nice for people to get out and enjoy some fresh air and celebrate Christmas.
It was a bit short, and it was a little bit damp occasionally,
right?
A little sprinkling rain, but it wasn't nearly as cold as we've seen some years
right
down there. Well, anyway, we have had our Christmas kind of a weekend for the city of Lampasas and downtown. The lights are on now, and we are looking forward to a real Christmas, but hopefully it will be kind of abbreviated in some ways because of the COVID pandemic that's going on. We hope that people won't gather in large groups. What is the current report on the pandemic here?
This will paint a picture over the last several days, but on Friday, I think we certainly pushed out on social media the fact that we had a spike. We were up to 94 active cases on Friday. Monday, that number went down to 76 active cases, and then Chief Smith just reported to me this morning they currently have 83 active cases. Currently, we remain at 14 fatalities, and we believe that there are between 5 and 6 folks currently hospitalized from Lampasas County, and we certainly are pulling for all those folks and want everyone to get better. Praying that doesn't get any worse, and hopefully everybody can play their part in making sure that they minimize whatever spread it is.
I'm so surprised by this, by the number of infections that we have in the Lampasas area over the last several days, and I'm surprised and disheartened by the number of deaths that we've had here in Lampasas. I'm also kind of fascinated by the fact that there are in some circles that study this kind of thing, a.k.a. Dr. Fauci,
right,
that predicted this.
Yes.
And he seemed to be right on with talking about the cold weather, the winter infections, and now he says mid-January it should reach its peak. That's scary when we have as many as we have had here in Lampasas.
We do, and I think the one statistic that Jeff will point out to council when he provides his report is, still in Texas, the 80 to 85% of all cases are in 15 counties. So there are certainly hot spots, be it in El Paso, in the Valley, in Harris County, Fort Bend County, Dallas-Fort Worth area. Those continue to be great areas of concern, and that's where the bulk of these cases are coming from. In terms of what was predicted, some people have said, well, maybe it's because we're doing more testing, and I read an article yesterday that said it's not because we're doing more testing, it's just because there are more cases out there. So I try to take a look at multiple sources of information. I don't know if I can connect the dots on any of it, other than, yes, we are experiencing a spike in cases, particularly in Lampasas County and obviously in the state of Texas.
You surely couldn't think that it was just because of testing if you look at the increased number of deaths. I mean, there's the proof in the fact that we are a sicker society right now because of this. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, we'll be getting a vaccine coming into the Lampasas area.
Yeah, it should be. I understand that we will get at least a limited number of vaccines before the end of the year, perhaps as early as next week, to start some of the vaccination of the most sensitive populations as well as healthcare providers.
And I was told this morning that there's been a change of plans in the Christmas toy drive, or the parts of it.
Yes.
Anyway, tell me about that.
So we originally, and of course, as listeners might know, we do an annual community dinner, lunch, that also serves as a delivery depot for all our toys that we distribute. The fire department, the volunteer fire department, distributes over Christmas time. That was scaled back this year to just do a drive-in dinner. In other words, you drive in, drop your toys off, and take lunch home or back to the office with you. Because of the stress that's put on our staff, and of course, just like other folks in town, we've had potential exposures. We've had folks that certainly are trying to work a little safer, so we're trying to limit exposure not only to the public but to our staff. So we've basically eliminated that. We still would encourage you to bring your toys or monetary donations down to the fire department, but the annual community luncheon, which has been a great event over the years, is going to have to take a step back until next year.
Yeah, as it should be. What else is going on with the city of Lampasas right now?
Just a couple of items. We want to also remind folks, I guess there's going to be a scaled down Christmas on the Creek event this Saturday, so drop by. It'll be come and go and come enjoy the lights. I think there will be some hot chocolate out there, but come enjoy the park, and we certainly appreciate all the work that that committee has done. Appreciate the work that Lucian and Eli have done on getting the lights up, and so it's quite a front door or front yard for our community when folks travel through town. We're also preparing for a council meeting Monday, and we've got a few things that we'll be dealing with. We'll have the normal coronavirus report from Chief Smith. We'll also be taking a look at some of the final year-end closeout numbers on our budget. We'll have to do a few journal entries and a few budget amendments that council will consider Monday night. It's hard to believe, but normally it takes us about 60 days to close our books on the previous fiscal year, and this will be the culmination of that closing. And so we'll button those books up from previous year, and council will consider some of those items. And the other items that we'll be taking a look at, we should have proposals back from contractors that are interested in doing a Campbell Park Pavilion, as well as those contractors that may have an interest in providing their work for a skate park at Campbell Park. So council be considering those items as well.
How much money is set aside, so to speak?
Yeah, I think the dollars will not be determined until we begin negotiation with the selected
Right,
contractor.
exactly.
The procurement that we're using, the cities have multiple ways that they can purchase goods and services, and the way we're doing it on these two items is what is known as a design build. So we'll select the most qualified contractor based on the qualifications they submit in their proposal, and then we'll sit down with them and go over a design and go over the cost for that. We anticipate that those two projects could be on the order of $300,000 to $400,000.
Is that money that the city has on hand, or?
It is.
It is?
It is.
Okay, all right. How is the plans, the capital projects for the city of Lampasas over the next several months, how are they affected by the pandemic at all?
We have not really seen any significant impact based on the pandemic. The biggest impact that we've seen primarily to planned and projects that we want to go ahead and initiate this year has been projects that pop up that unexpectedly. For example, we know that we're going to have to put some money into West 3rd Street, where we basically had a culvert repair and culvert deterioration causing some undermining on that roadway. And so that's a problem that we did not anticipate, and which could, take some of the funds away from what we were planning to do on East 3rd Street, Avenue C, et cetera. So in terms of the pandemic, the city has borne additional expenses because of that. However, through the CARES Act, we're going to be able to recoup a number of those expenses.
Okay. Another question, I don't know how much of this you can answer at this point. We all know the property on one end of, down on the south end of Key Avenue that was formerly the Aaron's building, and a lot of other things in that general area up for sale, I guess. There's a project going on,
right.
Some speculation going on. What can you tell us about that?
And I think the action that council has taken over the last month or so does spell out what's going on there. We are in the process of trying to do some replatting and conveyance of an alleyway and taking a look at utilities in that area for what we'd call a QSR, a quick service restaurant. It is a restaurant that is well known in the state of Texas and adored in the state of Texas, but in terms of the public announcement, I defer to those folks to do that when they're ready to do that.
Okay. Most people can probably guess.
Yes.
By now, for a long time, there's been talk about this popular restaurant establishing itself here, and must be good business. We have these chain quick service things popping up here in Lampasas. As long as we bring all of that 190, 183, 281 traffic right down Key Avenue, that's a good prospect.
And I think it is one indicator of traffic patterns and the viability of this as a way to support those types of businesses. But at the same time, we haven't quite gotten there yet, but we've also seen some positive things in our downtown area in terms of an uptick in retail presence downtown and restaurants and entertainment. So we're hopeful that not only do we see that sort of development along Key Avenue, but we also continue to see positive steps in our downtown area as well.
Have there ever been any discussions with TxDOT or at any level that you know of, talking about a truck route or something around Lampasas?
Sure, and that's something that's we've talked about at City Council. In fact, Council took some action. I believe it's probably been 6 months to a year ago, and we wrote a letter to TxDOT in support of a feasibility study for a relief route. I think it's kind of a double-edged sword. Folks like the traffic through town for certain reasons. However, we've also got a lot of truck traffic that's coming through town and also coming through our downtown on 3rd Street and 4th Street that somehow GPS or Google takes them through 4th Street when they really don't have a delivery. So would this provide an opportunity to relieve some of that truck traffic through our downtown area and even Key Avenue? Hopefully it still has as a viable business route for the traveling public so they can come in and give us some of their money.
But no feasibility study's ever been done yet?
This would be, not to my
or-
knowledge. I think, there may have been some pretty pictures drawn at one point, but the action that council took at the request of TxDOT was to endorse a feasibility study by TxDOT for a relief route.
For somewhere down the line. Okay. So, meeting coming up, and what's the big thing that we're going to
I
learn
think,
about in that meeting?
well, I think primarily it's going to be, talking about the Campbell Park Pavilion and the Campbell Park Skate Park. And then it'll just be some nuts and bolts. Again, of course, we'll have a report on the current COVID situation. We will be spending a little time talking about a future meeting. We'll just provide council with a tentative agenda for a planning meeting we're going to have with council. This will probably be about a half-a-day meeting where we'll talk about council's direction for the next year to 18 months, providing staff a little push to get a few things done that council sees as a priority. So we'll also be, at that meeting, also be taking a look at probably the last 2 chapters of our comprehensive plan draft that should be finalized probably no later than February.
Lampasas City Manager Finley DeGraffenreid in our studio on Wednesdays. If there's something you'd like to know about or like to hear us discuss on this show, please contact us here at Lampasas Radio, and we'd be glad to ask the questions. You're listening to KCYL KACQ Radio.
The Country Blend, KACQ 1019 FM, Lomita, Lampasas, and Copperas Cove.
Lampasas area weather, I'm Ken Gontarek. Another good-looking day today. Plenty of sunshine. A warm 77 for the high. Not much breeze. Clear and not as cold overnight, but still a cool 42 for the low. Sunny and 77 again tomorrow. We'll see a few clouds roll in after